Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. My name is Graham and welcome to my show. And here's the deal, guys. Our favorite shark, Kevin O'Leary, just came out with this new TV show. It's called The Money Court. Now, here's the problem. We can't get any episodes of The Money Court unless you pay for it. So guess what? I actually shelled out the money to pay for The Money Court so I could review it and see just how good it is. So with that said, guys, because I actually paid to watch an episode here, let's do our part to destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm. That's all I ask in return, and now we'll get a look into this episode to see just how good it is. Enjoy.
First up, Bethy versus Bethy.
Alright, so basically the concept is that two people go in, they have an issue about money, they argue about money, and then Kevin O'Leary is just the mediator, and then whatever he decides is what those people have to do.
A $200,000 disagreement between husband and wife.
Yeah, the only disagreement I think is whether or not he should stop spiking his hair. That's what I would argue about there.
After 2 years, they've managed to save up over $200,000. But while James wants to use the cash to pay down their mortgage and invest, Michelle wants to keep the money where it is, in the bank.
Oh, no! No, come on! She wants to keep the money in the bank. He wants to invest it. How is this even a question? Just go and invest it. Show her math. If she understands math, she will listen to him.
Hi, Kevin. My husband and I are disagreeing about what to do with the money. He wants to be a little bit more aggressive. James is telling me we need to invest it in stocks or retirement, but I want to hold on to it a little bit longer so that we have that safety net just in case.
All right. A $200,000 safety net. She's fooling herself here. What do you need $200,000 to fall back on? 200 grand. What is her overhead? That's guaranteed that's gotta be like 10 years worth of expenses.
How long you've been together? How'd you get 200,000? That's very rare in America to be your age.
We've been together for about 22 years.
How old are they? They've been together 22 years as high school sweethearts. I thought he was like 29 years old. She could be about the same. First of all, what are they doing? Maybe money just makes you younger. Maybe that's the thing. The more money they get in their bank account, the younger they look.
I do extreme things to save money. One of the things that I have done is that my wedding ring, it's only a $10 wedding ring.
What other intense, aggressive things have you done?
He won't let me get coffee every day.
What?
Oh, wait. Did I just hear this correctly?
She's not allowed to get coffee?
Wait a second. I like this guy even more. He saves money, he's frugal, and has a no spending money on coffee rule. I like this.
We'll just say, that's $3 a day, that's $15 a week, then you times that by 4 for the month.
He's not wrong. That's the thing. He's right. I mean, sure, she could afford the coffee, but if it tastes just as good at home, or the coffee that you could get at BanquoCoffee.com that's now for sale, why spend the extra money if you don't have to? It's like if I asked you this question, like, hey, would you mind burning a $20 bill? You're like, no, I don't want to do that. Well, that's the same thing with coffee. Essentially, you're doing the same thing. You're wasting it.
I also had to push him to reside the house. Debate that we had, it was definitely needed.
You have to push him to make home improvements.
Oh, well, the new residing looks good. Okay, all right. I mean, maybe that was a necessary upgrade, but yeah, he'll get that money back in value, though, in his house.
What I want to do is I want to put $150,000 towards the mortgage. That's 26 years left. At $2,400, it would make it 30 years for $1,400. And I would still have a cushion of $50,000 in the bank.
But before we go into that, I want to give you something a little bit extra and thank our video sponsor today, Extra. See what I did there? Alright, but for real, since this channel focuses around money and personal finance, I was really happy to have them a part of this video because Extra is the first debit card that helps you build credit while earning rewards at the exact same time. All you need to do is link Extra to your existing bank account, Extra spots you for everyday purchases, and then you could auto-pay Extra back the next day. Then at the end of the month, all the expenses are tallied up and reported to credit bureaus. It's that easy. Plus, you could also earn redeemable reward points for every purchase you make. So if you're interested in learning more or building your credit with Extra, use the link down below in the description, smash the like button, and now let's get back to the video. I wouldn't pay off the mortgage. That would be stupid to do too. That would be just as stupid as keeping the money in a checking account. See, the good thing with a mortgage is that his interest rate is probably so low that it's at the pace of inflation, so it's pretty much a free loan. Anything he's paying down there, why? There's no point.
What other debt do you have?
My wife's truck, that's about $20,000.
What are you paying in interest on that truck loan?
Maybe it is 7%.
Right now, the only way to make a compounded interest rate of 6 or 7 or 8% is in the stock market. This $200,000 would be $3 or $4 million by the time you guys retire. That's what you're not thinking
The
about.
only thing with that is I don't know enough about the stock market.
Oh, come on. She doesn't need to be a rocket scientist to invest. Just buy a broad index fund, 20 minutes worth of research. She could be done. That's it. The fact that she's not doing 20 minutes of research but she will drive 20 minutes to go and buy a cup of overpriced coffee. That's concerning.
So, Michelle, what would you like to see done with the $200,000?
I want to hang on to it a little bit longer just to make sure that everything's stable, with everything going on in the world. We want to make sure that, we make the right decision. I don't want to aggressively dip out of our savings.
Oh gosh, she is like the worst investor in the world. Like everything wrong that someone could be saying, she's saying it. Just do the opposite of what she's doing. That would be a great gauge if you want to be like, if you want to beat the market, just ask her, be like,
hey, where are you investing your money? Oh, you doing that? Oh, yeah.
Just do the opposite, and guaranteed you'll make so much more money.
And then all of a sudden, let's say something happens in the house, and I want to make sure that we could pay for it in cash, and we don't have to worry about going into debt or using a credit card. I'll give you an example. The dryer just broke in our house, and we had to buy a new one. And James didn't even want to spend the extra $60 to get it installed.
That sounds like me. Honestly, our dryer broke, and I was just like, I don't want to fix it. I'd rather just hang out the clothes outside and let the sun do all the work. Like, why? Why pay the extra money?
We want to make sure that we have something for them too when they're older, as opposed to putting it into the stock market where I'm not sure where my money's going to go. I know that there's penalties in taking things out. I don't want to deal with all that.
The only penalty for taking your money out of the stock market is someone on Wall Street Bets calling you paper hands. Paper hands. That's the only penalty for taking your money out of the stock market. Jeez.
Put it this way, Mr. Wonderful, we make about $220,000 a year together. This is our time to make the move with this money. I already delayed gratification enough. I am done with delaying gratification. I'm done with eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I need an upgrade. I don't need lobster and steak. I'm good with the burger.
Okay.
I don't need to be rich. I just want to live a good life.
Listen to yourself. You got to get away from
Okay.
what I want to do, what I need.
Yeah, but he's right. That's the thing. It's like, sure, it's a problem if he's like,
I want to spend the money. I want to do it.
but he's right. He's doing that for both of them.
Look, I think we've heard enough. We're going to send you to the breakout room. When we come back, I'll give you my decision.
We have to give him
Yeah.
credit. It's not like he's saying, I'm going to go out and buy a Lambo. I'm going to blow all the money on this. But Kevin, does it make sense to put that money in a mortgage where you actually have it in the dirt, as we call it, right? The real property. I understand that the return on an investment of putting it in the stock market makes better fiscal sense.
Let me guess what you're gonna do. If it were me, I'd tell him put it all in the market, don't pay down the mortgage early, keep $30,000 in a savings account. That's good enough, realistically. They're gonna tell them to do a split. Keep like $30,000 in a savings account, put some of that towards the mortgage, invest the rest. That's what they're gonna say. Let's see.
The house is going to be worth something. It's never going to be zero, okay? So the way I look at this thing is I'm saying if they won't put it into the market where you can actually be an investor and over time build a nest egg, they're not building a nest egg. They've just got a lot of cash in a savings account that is slowly becoming worth less every year. All right, I think I know what I'm going to do.
Now, I'll be honest, I don't get the other two women on the show at all. I don't get the point of having them on, besides just like some side commentary. Really, the show's about Kevin O'Leary. I would much rather see Kevin O'Leary on top of a podium with these people in person and not over a computer screen like this without the other two ladies. We don't need that. We just need Kevin O'Leary yelling at the people. That's what I want to see.
I want you to take $130,000 of it and pay down your mortgage, okay? The other $20,000 that I want to put to work is to pay off the truck loan. It makes no sense that you're paying 7%, even more interest on that, while you're making nothing in your savings account. Let's get rid of that. That knocks off that payment. I want to leave $50,000 cash for peace of mind for Michelle. I want you to download any one of the apps that are in the market that help you invest in it. And you're going to put $100 a week. It's called an ACH transfer. You set it up with your bank account. It happens automatically. Boom, it goes into the market each week.
What a terrible piece of advice. $130,000 to pay down a mortgage with a low interest rate, most likely, that is tax deductible. Why would you do and $130,000 of that? What a waste. It's free money. I would actually just say, how about this? Put $130,000 in the stock market. Let's do that. Let's pay down the car loan. That's a no-brainer. Keep $50,000 in savings. Now, let's put $30,000 in savings, then take $20,000 pay off the mortgage with that. That's what I would do.
That's my final decision. We wish you the best of health and happiness. You're a wonderful family, and you're very rich in many ways. Take care.
Oh, man. Okay, so overall, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. Let's hope it gets better. There's one more episode in this that we should probably dive into, but so far, I'm just not impressed. I just feel like the stories are not as good as, like, The People's Court, where you just get these crazy scenarios. Something like this, in my opinion, is too tame, and there's not enough Kevin O'Leary. The other ladies, I feel kind of take away from that.
I'm actually really excited now to get my coffee every day if I choose and not have the eye roll about it.
Oh, come on. Every day if she chooses. She's all afraid of losing money in the stock market versus guaranteed losing money at Starbucks. What is she gonna do? Drink $5 away every day? It's terrible. No. Treat yourself every now and then. Fine. But if she's drinking coffee, give him his way and invest the money.
Sanders versus Duke. Tracy Sanders put down a deposit for a photo shoot in New York, only to move across the country before she was able to schedule it. Now, years later, she's demanding her money back. But photographer Keston Duke says her unexpected move isn't his problem.
Ooh, I see. I like this. I like these disputes. She paid him for something. She never used it. Now she wants her money back years later. Tough call. That's his money. That's his money, and that is kind of her problem for leaving. But let's see what Kevin says.
Tracy, let's start with you. State your case.
I am here today to sue Keston Duke in the amount of $1,000. He owes me $250 that I paid for a photo shoot that never occurred, $50 in interest, and $700 in emotional distress due to his breach of performance.
Oh, come on. So wait, so her emotional distress over not getting $250 is worth $700, and she's charging him interest on the money that she paid him. He's not a bank. What do you expect? He's not a financial advisor where you give him money, he's gonna pay her back with interest. What a crock, honestly. I don't like her.
All I know is she gave a deposit. She had 90 days to do her shoot. She never did her shoot. I don't owe her anything.
That's simple. Sounds like a very basic dispute here.
It is not refundable. You give a deposit to hold the slot. You have up to 90 days to schedule your shoot. If you don't do your shoot in that time window, the shoot expires. Your deposit expires either way.
Makes sense. After all, you're not going to give him $250 and be like,
All right, well, 50 years from now, I want my photo shoot.
no, 90 days. That's reasonable.
Tracy, why would he have to give you your money back if you have a verbal contract where you give him $250, you're supposed to do the photo shoot, you move, no photo shoot? Why would he have to give you the money back?
Because he did not tell me that it was non-refundable. Also, customers are always right.
Oh, come on. She sounds like a Karen right now. The customer's always right. Well, no. The customer could be wrong. In fact, I think the customer is wrong a lot of time, and businesses are too afraid to call them out because then the customer goes on Twitter and they give them a bad rap, and then it's like, well, we could give the customer back their $50 and make them right in exchange for them not defaming us. That's really what a lot of this is about.
Tracy, where are you getting this emotional distress? Where are you getting that number from, the $700 for emotional distress?
I was so stressed out moving cross country and while trying to get my money back for 10 years.
Oh, come on, for 10 years? Listen, that's not his problem. If someone else is stressed, nothing to do with me. Your stress is on you.
I mean, you can't forever just drag out a claim, show up years later, file a claim like this. The person doesn't have any evidence. How do they defend themselves at this point?
I would also like to say that I'm an attorney and it's not about the money for me. It's the principle of the matter.
Oh, that's the worst. I don't like when people say, well, that's not the money, it's the principle. That's not the sign of a logical reason. You want a logical reason. Hey, here's the damage that I incurred. Here's the risk of spending more time on it. Listen, principle does not pay the bills. I don't care about principle. I just look at the bottom line. Hey, is this worth my time? Is this worth my money? If the answer is no, then leave it alone. It makes no sense to pursue something that doesn't have a good ROI. Then you're just wasting your own time. What's the saying? An eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. That's what she's doing. And for a lawyer, she should know that.
I want him to apologize because he called me a vulgar name.
Oh, really? What was that vulgar name?
He called me a dodo bird.
Dodo bird. They're extinct. That's how long it's been since you paid that deposit. I'm going to dismiss this case right now. That's my final decision.
All right, good. Finally, a case I agree with. But I gotta say that this thing seems staged. I mean, it really seems like to call her a dodo bird. I mean, this just screams like this is like CBS primetime television that you could watch with your family. It's like the kid's like,
She called you a dodo bird.
that's stupid. I gotta say, just not a fan of it. Not a fan of the show. If you guys are, just let me know in the comments, and I might watch another episode or two. But overall, I gotta say, not impressed. All the stories are just not engaging enough. I hate the fact that it's not in person. I want people arguing back and forth. I want like the Jerry Springer style, where someone's taking the chair, like just throwing it across the room, and be like, "You owes me $5,000." Like, I want that. This is too tame. The TV thing, not that exciting. Kevin O'Leary seems a little bit too scripted. I don't like the dialogue between the ladies. Overall, I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 10. I love Shark Tank. I'm a huge Shark Tank fan. This, it seems like it's trying to be a Shark Tank. It's just, it doesn't hit as much. Let me know what you think of the show down below in the comments. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to destroy the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post it pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there, as in the podcast, The Iced Coffee Hour. New episodes being posted every single Sunday, so make sure to add yourself to that. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.